All right, we are live, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of G.F.Y, which means good for you, unless you don't like this show. That means the other thing. Welcome back, Nick Sarlo, the founder of, excuse me, Shadow Hunters, Paranormal Investigator. Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah.
So, you and your buddy were on here a few months ago, and I appreciated that. Got a
hmm
lot of positive feedback on that show. People love this stuff. Um, some people that were a bit unexpecting on my side. Were like totally into the paranormal and ghosts and hauntings and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I had no idea. So yeah, it's very cool. So it is Halloween season. I thought it'd be appropriate to have you back on and kind of just give us, excuse me, I don't know what's going on here. An update on what's going on with Shadow Hunters.
Well, right now we're I don't know. It's kind of a weird time right now, just because during the spooky season, I work at Six Flags for Fright Fest
Yep.
as one of the scare actors. So I'm currently doing that right now. So we're kind of taking a little break from Shadow Hunters right now. But as soon as all that's over and the season ends at the park, we will be back to doing paranormal investigations. We kind of we're doing two different things now. So we do something called Life of Ghost Hunters. That's going to be
Mhm.
shown April through October, and that's all on YouTube. And then we also do the Life of Ghost Hunters podcast, which is just strictly a podcast, but it's everything about true crime, paranormal, different haunted history, paranormal investigations, or it has to do with like insane asylums, anything like
Mhm.
that. So right now we are currently in the Life of Ghost Hunters podcast. I'm currently having an issue trying to upload them to YouTube, so it's taking a
Oh.
little bit of time for that.
Okay.
Um, but as of right now, that's about it. And there's kind of something big I'm working on. It's been about 2 years. There was a lot of stuff I had to go through and organize all my thoughts and everything. I'm writing my first book.
Nice. Very good. Is this about Shadow Hunters or your own?
This is so the book will be, will feature a little bit about shadow hunters and stuff, but the book is mostly going to feature stuff that happens behind the scenes that nobody sees. That kind of what a paranormal investigator goes through.
Oh, okay.
I can't give too much away. I can go into a little bit depth of it. I can't give the name of the book yet because we're just
Oh,
making sure all the rights are,
gotcha.
secured and all that kind of stuff. Um, but what I can tell you is there's going to be about 12 chapters of the book. And each chapter has something different that either we had faced or we had done. But a lot of it has to do with stuff that's all behind the scenes. It has to do with, what we go through as paranormal investigators or a paranormal team or anything like that. Because there's some not nice people out there.
Oh, yeah, that's for
We'll put it that way. Um,
sure.
and I'm not using any names or anything like that in the book, but it's people will know will kind of get a taste of what it was like for the past 23 years that I've been doing this. And I think it's finally time that people know what happens, and if this is something that they want to try or go through. Well, here's some of my experience, and if you still want to continue after reading the book, more power to you. But if you don't, I understand why.
Would you say that your experiences, both positive and negative, as a paranormal researcher, investigator?
It's it's been both positive and negative, yeah.
Okay,
Mostly positive,
okay,
but
but like the negative stuff you were referring to, do you think that that sort of ranges over a lot, if not all, paranormal investigators? You feel like they came up across the same sort of things?
well, I'm sure a lot of people has, but there's not really a lot of books out there that kind of
Sure,
explain everything,
gotcha.
and not really, there was no guidebook for me
Right.
on how to start, a paranormal team, or just how to start ghost hunting. I mean, we had to learn all that by ourselves. So I kind of figure, write this book and be like, okay, this is what you should prepare for. when joining a team or just starting out for the first time or anything like that. And it and like I said before, there's not a lot of nice people out there, so it it can give the viewer or the reader, I should say, just kind of like an in depth of what they should expect, because no matter what, you're going to run into some trouble in the paranormal field. It's unfortunately it's unavoidable, but it's going to happen. So what better way to read it in the book and kind of go by somebody's experience, and then that way I'm kind of preparing them for what to expect, and then they can kind of choose what to do next.
Well, no, that's great that you're doing this for for yourself and for others to learn from your experience. Because it's nice to, like, when people have like kind of trodden the path before you even decide to go on it, you can learn from them just by researching and studying what they've done, what they've gone through, like you said, before you make the decision to even step on the path, whatever path it may be. So that's very good. Very cool. So I was asked to ask you, what kind of places do you think, have you noticed a pattern in types of places, whether it be like insane asylums, abandoned prisons, whatever it may be, houses where people have died, where hauntings tend to happen most often?
A lot of people. So I mean, it could be, just like you said, insane asylums. It could be prisons, anything like that. Now, a lot of people, they always think that, like, if you go to a graveyard, it's very haunted and stuff like that. No, I mean, why would you go to a place that you're buried at in the afterlife? There, you really don't get I mean, we've been to that, and that's not to say that stuff at graveyards don't happen, because they definitely do. I mean, there's Bachelor's Grove in Chicago, which that's self-explanatory right there. But I mean, you're not going to get a lot of evidence at a cemetery. I mean, the places that you really will is like if you go to a place that had a lot of death. So if you go to a hospital, an insane asylum, like you said, a lot of people have passed away there and stuff. It just depends, and there's a lot of other people out there that say, oh, here's the hot spot. Here's a hot spot over there. You don't even need the hot spots, because ghosts can travel all over the place that you're at. So it's not just that one little activity isn't going to happen in that one room. And I mean, paranormal activity can happen anywhere. It could be nighttime, daytime. A lot of the shows that we see, obviously they show it at night for kind of more of like an effect type of thing. And I think it's a lot of people do it for at night too, because of views and stuff like that. And, they want their views, and they want to make it scary and all that. But honestly, I mean, it's still daytime right now. Anything can happen. We caught our best evidence during the daytime at Indiana State Sanatorium, and that was at like 2:00 in the afternoon. So it can happen anywhere. It can happen in a normal house. It doesn't have to be like an insane asylum or anything, or a cemetery, but it really can happen anywhere. I mean, even on a boat.
Even on a boat. That's interesting. Okay, no, that's very interesting, actually. But like any newly developed subdivisions, the house has only been lived in for a couple of years. Nothing happened there. It wasn't built on like an ancient cemetery or burial ground or anything like that. And anything like just unexpected that had happened there.
It can. So how that kind of portrays and how that goes is, so a lot of people, they have a spirit attachment to them. A lot of people have that, and they don't realize it. And if that spirit is kind of attracted to where you live or where you are, or anything like that, like, they're more than likely to go to a place that has a lot of energy. Okay, so like if that home or whatever is just picking up some weird energy and stuff like that, and the spirit likes it, guess what? They're going to stay there. And that's how a lot of hauntings actually happen, is because a lot of people have spirit attachments and they have no clue that they have these things around them. Right. So they just kind of detach off. So, I mean, people don't have to die to be at a haunted location. It could be because of other people.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. And I know of like there's these places considered to be spiritual vortexes across the globe. And the one that comes to mind first is Sedona, Arizona. It's supposed to be a hot spot with all sorts of like paranormal and even just sort of like new age activity. Like a lot of people go there and kind of do rituals and stuff like that. They think the energy is a little more hot there than other places. So that's really interesting. So you just mentioned that one of your best experiences in Indiana. Would you tell us that story? I know you told us last time, but just for the viewers now.
Yeah, so we went to Indiana State Sanatorium. It's a huge, gigantic. It's a big property. It's got about like 7 to 8 buildings on there. Some of the buildings you can't even go in anymore just because they're condemned. And you go in there, you're gonna step right through that floor and get get very hurt. Make sure you have your tetanus shot and stuff. But we went there, and it's in Indiana. It's maybe like 3 hours from here, so it's not too bad. And we decided to start in the psychiatric ward, which is all the way in the back of the property. And we decided to start on the 5th floor, which is where they put the worst of men for crimes and all that. And nothing was really happening. We went to the 4th floor, which is just where they put like the basic men, anything like that. So nothing too, they didn't commit any crimes or anything like that. But I think we heard like a door slam. That was about it. And then after that, because not much was really going on the 4th floor, I went to the 3rd floor by myself, which is something you should never do alone. But I figure, you know what? It's daytime. I got a radio. They got radios upstairs. I'll be fine. So I'm walking downstairs, and as soon as I opened the door, I started feeling like all this stuff around me. Just, you could tell there were people there. And I'm walking down, and then all of a sudden I hear like tapping, and I happen to look to my left, and there's this huge, gigantic glass window. And I was like, oh, it's raining outside. And I happened to turn my camera straight down, and I look straight down the hallway, and all of a sudden I see a figure pop in and pop out just within like 2 seconds. And while all this was going on, I didn't think I captured anything on camera because I thought my camera was the opposite way. But luckily enough, we did capture it on camera, and that's one of the best captures we have ever gotten. And then upon further review of this figure, because when I saw this thing, I freaked out, and I started running the other way, and I was like, oh my God, and all that stuff. And I started running upstairs. I was like, guys, you got to see what we captured. Well, the camera was still rolling, and as I'm running straight down and I go through the door, the camera just happens to pan to the right real quick, and guess who's there? That same figure is now on the other side waiting for me to go upstairs.
Wow.
So I go upstairs, I grab everybody, and I was like, guys, we captured something. And then we go back downstairs, and then it was just quiet. Nothing. We haven't been back to Indiana State since. But the 3rd week in November, the week before Thanksgiving, we're actually we're trying to go to, it's a village. It's an entire village in Indiana, only 10 minutes away from Indiana State Sanatorium, that you can investigate. You can investigate this entire village. And there's 20-something buildings that you can go in, and all these buildings are like far apart. And so you're pretty much like by yourself the whole time. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to go back to Indiana State and,
wow.
See if maybe we capture anything again.
That's interesting. So is this village abandoned?
It is. It's an abandoned village that if you
like
pay...
a ghost town, like an old West town kind of thing?
Yep. It's an old town. And it's not bad. It's like, what is it? It's for 10 people. It's $400, which is pretty cheap.
For the day or for like a weekend? For like
for the night.
For the night?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So it's almost like $40-$50 a person. So It's not.
for all together. I thought you meant
Yeah, all together. Yeah, not.
well, that's nothing. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, not too bad, and we're allowed to sleep there. We'll probably get a hotel the next day. Um, but yeah, we're excited to go. We're just waiting for some stuff to go through to make sure we can go. And then the next day, on that Saturday, we'll go to Indiana State Sanatorium for
Oh, dude, that's
a
gonna
little
be.
bit.
And when is this happening?
The weekend before Thanksgiving of this November.
All right. Well, we'll have to have you back on after that because that sounds very cool. That's intense stuff, man. Any like poltergeist type incidents, like any like actual physical movings or like bodily injury to staff or yourself?
Luckily, not yet. Knock on wood. We haven't had anything like that. We're hoping not to have anything like that. Because I mean, mostly with us, like we're more positive, I guess you could say, like not really focusing on the negative stuff.
The dark side.
Yeah, demons, devils, and all that. And
Mhm.
luckily, we have never ever came up against anything like that yet.
So you've never, besides like some like phantasms, some specter signs, some figures as you described, some doors shutting, open windows. Wouldn't you tell the story about like the you were in your room and or maybe it was your buddy you said it. The wind or the air got really cold really fast. That whole thing, stuff like that. Nothing like explicitly physical.
No.
Okay.
No. We've nothing. Well, I mean, there's a couple times where a couple of our team members have gotten scratched, but
Your buddy, your friend, what's his? I forgot his name.
Patrick.
Patrick, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He said he had like 3 scratches on his back or 2 scratches on his back.
So we went to Old Baraboo Inn in Wisconsin, and we were using the SB7 Spirit Box. The Spirit Box it's that really, I hate using the Spirit Box just because of the annoying like it's gives you a headache after a while.
Sure.
But we were using it, and all of a sudden, Pat's like, "Ow, ow, ow!" And we're like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And he's like, I feel like I'm being scratched. And then all of a sudden, on the Spirit Box, it said scratch, and then not like 10 seconds later, it said Patrick. And then we look on his back, and he's got 3 scratch marks.
You
down
saw
his back. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's physical.
Yep. Yeah, we saw that. But the thing is, it's like that place isn't. It's not demonic or anything like that, because if you were kind of mean or whatever in normal life, you're going to be the same way in the afterlife. And that could have been them joking too. But Patrick also, because the Old Baraboo Inn also used to be a brothel way a long time ago. So Pat
maybe it was just like a BDSM person.
So Pat put money on the bed, and he goes, "Okay, ladies, I'm ready."
Right.
So that could be why right there. So.
That's funny. Reminds me of that scene in the first Ghostbusters movie where Dan Aykroyd's character, like his belt starts going undone.
I have a little
like the female ghost who's hovering above him was about to like do something sexual to him. It was funny.
So something funny. It's funny that you say Ghostbusters. A lot of people are like, "There's no way. How are you a ghost hunter?" I've never seen any of the Ghostbusters movies.
Well, no, that's okay. That's okay. Like, no,
people are like, "What are you talking about? How have you not?"
We all have our like expertise, and we have limitations within them. I was like, I grew up listening to 80s heavy metal, and I love heavy metal. And I was telling my other buddy the other day, like, all these big bands I never saw, and I'm very embarrassed by that. Like, that kind of thing. Like, if anybody should have seen them, it's me. So yeah, no, that's fine. We all have our things. But that's really interesting stuff. And do you notice any more higher degree or amount of paranormal activity during the Halloween season? Is there something special about that? Full moons, anything like that?
I mean, people say there are. I haven't noticed anything. I mean, that could just be me though. But I mean, it could be for other people. I would love to do an investigation on Halloween at like midnight or like 3 a.m. or something like that. And just kind of see what happens and stuff like that. But as of right now, nothing. Everything's just still the same. It's not Halloween yet, so we'll see. You never know. Anything can happen.
Halloween's on a Friday this year. That's going to be fun. So very cool. And do you network with other paranormal investigative teams or anything like that? Do you get any responses from them? Pro or con, like, hey, you guys are doing a great job, or you're full of it, or anything like that? Is there any sort of animosity?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of paranormal investigators that we know. There's a lot of paranormal teams that we know, and we've got a good relationship with most of them. When people read the book, they'll kind of find out some of the stuff that had happened, with us and other paranormal teams. But mostly, like, it's very good, positive feedback. We've if we do notice something like with another team, or like if they're faking their evidence or anything like that, like, we're not going to be like, oh, so and so did this, don't trust that. No, we just, with us, our new thing is, and we've noticed it works a lot, is we just keep our mouth shut.
Yeah, sure.
There's no reason to spread hate, spread rumors, spread, even if stuff is out there and they were captured doing it or whatever, like lying, stealing, whatever. Let somebody else take care of that.
Right.
My job and my team's job, our job, is just to go around and prove that this stuff is real. That's it. I don't care about any other team, what they do. I mean, sure, we'll work together with other paranormal teams, but it's not our business what they do.
Gotcha. No, that's a good policy. That's a healthy policy. I mean, it's not your responsibility to hold them to account.
Right? Because if we're doing that, then we're more worried about them. That's going to stress us out more. That's going to stress us. We don't care. It's just, if that's what floats your boat, go for it. But there right now there's only so many other paranormal teams or individuals that will actually do stuff with, just because of how badly we were treated in the past.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of that will be covered in the book.
Oh, interesting. Well. Oh, I can't wait. Do you have an expected deadline for the book?
We're hoping by next October to have it out, or even earlier. That'd be nice, but definitely by next year. What I can give you, though, is I can give you 2 of the chapter names.
Okay.
Let me get those real quick. So, all right, I'll give you 3 because that's cheap. Okay. So the one is about me. So you get to learn a lot about me, how I got started and everything. And then there's a chapter called Paranormal Drama, which is going to cover all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then there's going to be another chapter called Backstabbers.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. And then it's got like all of the important events we went to, important people that I had already asked permission to have them in the book. They were fine with that. I got important places in there, including a local amusement park, but we're not going to use the name. And then we have our name of the book. But like I said, we're still working with that just to make sure it's not copyrighted. And this will be explained in the book too, is like we've set ideas, we've given like project names and stuff like that, and all of a sudden 2 weeks later it's gone because another person took it. So now we're waiting for everything. We're waiting for everything to be copyrighted and all that with the book, and then we'll kind of go from there. And
gotcha. No, that's smart. That's smart. But yeah, protect yourself there. Yep. Because somebody hears it and you haven't copyrighted it, they can use it. But that's just how that works. So okay, very cool. How is Fright Fest going?
It's good. It's like, and I've told millions of people, it's such a great stress reliever, especially from my full-time job, or just life in general, because you can go and you can scare people without getting in trouble.
Right.
It's great. And especially when you are wielding a chainsaw around, and all you have to do is rev it once and all these people separate and stuff like that. And there was the other day, because there's a lot of fog in our area. It's called Forbidden Forest. So it's like a forest area. And there's a lot of fog in the area. Well, there was this. He's like, I don't know, probably like 14, 15 years old or whatever. And he's looking through the fog and he's trying to see what's out there. And he's like, Mom. And I went, yes, honey. And I just rubbed the chainsaw and I went after. He's like, you're not my mother.
My mother.
But it's, it's a lot of fun. And, it's just, everything about the Halloween season and stuff like that. And I love working, just at a theme park and stuff like that. And it's definitely a lot of fun.
Well, that's great. I know I've never been to it. Never one time.
It's a lot of fun. You should definitely make it out there. Whether people like roller coasters, whether they like thrill rides or just haunted houses. The park's got 5 different haunted houses, which are all really, really good this year.
Are the rides still running?
Yep, the rides are still running.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought they shut all that down. Okay.
Yeah, rides will still be running as long as weather permits. Like if it's too cold, certain roller coasters won't go, because you don't want the brakes freezing or anything like that. But it's been like where I am in Illinois, it's been nice, 65, 70 degrees almost every day.
Yeah,
that's not October.
Right.
And honestly, it doesn't even feel like October because of the
weather.
Weather.
Today felt like October to me.
Yeah. Today was a little bit cooler.
We're supposed to get into the high 70s by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
That I know in the beginning of October was like, I think it went from like 85 one night down to like the 60s the next day. Like we went from summer to fall, but like barely.
Right.
Yeah. So I gotcha. Yeah. So, all right. Well, cool. Yeah. I mean, October is like one of my most favorite times of the ever.
I love October.
Definitely. I was going to ask you one more question and then let you go. And it was, what was it? Oh, do you ever get any sort of like pushback from religious groups or like, how dare you, you're evil, you're dealing with the devil's domain or anything? Or even on the other side, you have any like, evil satanic groups going, you do this, dude, this is awesome, or anything like that?
Nothing like that. I mean, there's been people that I've told that, I'm a paranormal investigator and they kind of freak out. Like, what do you mean? Would you talk to ghosts? What do you do? And
you worship the devil? I mean,
right. I explain to them and stuff like that. And there's been like 1 or 2 people, like our customers at work, are like, no, we don't believe in that kind of stuff. But every other customer that's heard me say it, they're like, oh my God, I'm so interested. That's so cool and stuff like that. And, but like religious groups or anything like that, I've never had. And if they did say something, I would just be like, hey, this is, it's my thing. Right. Let people, and that kind of goes for everyday life too. Like, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. It just because it's wrong to you doesn't mean it's wrong to somebody else. And if somebody else is getting good joy out of it, what's wrong with that? I mean, look at the world we live in now. So let everybody just enjoy what they can enjoy.
Exactly. Well said. And the Warrens were, devout Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
And they.
Oh God, there's been a lot of stuff
supported by the church, or at least their local diocese or something like that, archdiocese. As far as I know, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I do know that they were devout Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that group of people, that demographic of people tend to be very judgmental of like everything they don't like. So I was just curious if you got any pushback from them at all. So I'm glad you haven't. That's good.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
Very cool. All right. Well, it's been about a half an hour. Nick Sarlo, thank you so much for coming on and updating us on Shadow Hunters and what's going on and what to expect. So the next big thing is November.
Yep, we got the thing in November. Usually we always do an event called Days of the Dead in Chicago. This year we are actually skipping it because of the investigations and all that kind of stuff and stuff with the podcast. And right now we're really starting to come into our busy time. And we want to make sure everything is good, especially with the podcast and that kind of stuff. So certain events we used to go to, we won't be there. But that's not to say we won't be there in the future, though.
All right, good. Life of Ghosts, Ghost Hunters podcast. Check it out, everybody. All right, Doug, it's very cool stuff. Nick Sarlo, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Absolutely. You're welcome often, whenever you want. Maybe again, after you do this Indiana thing, I'd love to have you back on. If I'm back on, or whoever goes with you, maybe. I think that'd be a very interesting tale to tell.
Oh, absolutely. We'll see what happens there.
Right. Well, exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to GFY. Good for you. I'm your host, David Rych. Till next time, be good. Hold on a second, Nick.